May 23rd, 2015, from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. It was Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals between the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets in the 2015 NBA playoffs. And I'll tell you, this series is over. I already said that the Cleveland series versus Atlanta was over, and that one is, but this one is beyond over. This was just the definition of domination as the Warriors go up 3-0 in the series. They just dominated throughout this game. They had record-setting performances. Let's look at how it went down. In the first quarter, the Rockets actually scored the first 2 points of the game. That would be their only lead in the entire game. It was a tie game after 4 minutes at 9-9, but then Bogut put the Warriors up and they never looked back. Bogut actually scored 10 points in the first quarter. It was the most points in his playoff career in 1 quarter of play. So after 1 quarter, it was 30-18 Warriors. Then in the second half, the Warriors just continued to keep the pedal to the metal, and going into halftime, they were up by 25 points with the score 62-37 Warriors. Then in the fourth quarter, Steph Curry hit 4 3-pointers. He would go on to hit 7 in this game as he broke Reggie Miller's 3-point single playoff season record, but we'll go on about that more after we get through this game. So it was 92-61 headed into the fourth as they were up by 31 points after 3 quarters of play. And they just continued the dominance in the fourth as they actually outscored the Rockets in every single quarter of this game. That's pretty rare. Usually a team, even if they get blown out, will have led in one of the quarters or kept a tie score in one of the quarters, just for the fact that usually a team will lay off once they get so far ahead. But in all 4 quarters, the Warriors outscored the Rockets, and at the end of the game, they won by 35 points with the final score 115-80. So utter dominance by the Warriors. They go up 3-0. It is now the 117th time a team has led another team 3-0 in the NBA playoffs, and every single team that's gone up 3-0 has gone on to win the series. No team has ever erased a 3-0 deficit in the NBA. Of course, it's happened in hockey and it's happened in baseball, as the Red Sox did it to the Yankees back in 2004, but not in the NBA. 3 teams have come back down 3-0 to tie the series and force a Game 7, but neither of those 3 teams ended up winning the series. The Knicks back in 51, they forced a Game 7 against the Rochester Royals. And back in 94, the Nuggets, down 3-0, forced a Game 7 against the Jazz. And in 2003, the Trailblazers, who were down 3-0, forced a Game 7 against the Mavericks. And the Nuggets and Blazers, who did it most recently, forcing a Game 7, coming back to win 3 in a row. They said the Nuggets in 94, the Blazers in 2003. Both of those teams lost by double digits in Game 7. So even if you could come back and win 3, force a Game 7, chances are you're going to get beat by double digits. Although the Knicks, way back in 51, they only lost by 4 points to the Royals in Game 7. The Rochester Royals. I know you've probably never heard of that team, but they did exist. But yeah, so they were the closest to come back, is they were just, 4 points, 79-75, that they lost their Game 7. Denver lost by 10. Portland lost by 12. Of course, that's getting way ahead of ourselves because they're not going to win 3 straight. This is probably going to be a sweep, as the Warriors were 4-0 against the Rockets in the regular season. Now they're 3-0 here in this series. They've won 7 straight games this year against the Rockets. The Rockets have failed to beat them all year. And it says Steph Curry, he breaks Reggie Miller's single postseason 3-point record. and he does it in fewer games, as he did it in 13 games. Reggie Miller did it in 22 games. Reggie Miller's old record was 58. He did that back in 2000, and that was against the Milwaukee Bucks, the Philadelphia 76ers, the New York Knicks, and then losing to the Lakers in the finals. So he had 23 games, and he put up 58. Entering the game, Curry had 57 three-pointers. He was tied with Ray Allen's 2001 performance in the playoffs when he played for the Milwaukee Bucks. Ray Allen played 18 games in that playoffs, and that was against the Magic, the Hornets, and then the Bucks lost in the conference finals to the 76ers that year. The Sixers, of course, would go on to lose to the Lakers, as the Lakers won back-to-back. So both of those players went against the Lakers actually Allen didn't make it to the Lakers series. He fell short. He almost made it there. Be interesting to see how many Ray would have had if the Bucks had beat the Sixers and gone on to the finals. But Miller had 58. Allen had 57. He also had 56 with the Celtics, but Steph Curry ties and breaks Reggie Miller's record as he now has 64 three-pointers in this playoffs and counting. So he's still got more games to go, more threes to hit, as he's actually set another record as he has 5 three-pointers in 5 consecutive games. So 5 plus three-pointers in 5 consecutive games for Curry. And he's the first player in NBA history to do that. So he's the only player ever to have 5 consecutive games with 5 or more three-pointers. And he sets the record now with 64. And if the trend continues, who knows how many he'll hit. Depends how long this series and the next go. But hey, if it win enough games, Steph Curry could put that number, he could almost double Reggie Miller's number. I know that's a little bit crazy, but he could easily get another 20, or more. You never know with Steph Curry. He get 20, maybe 30. He's only 36 away from hitting the triple digits. That would be insane. Of course, he would need the Rockets to start winning some games just so he could have more games, of course, than in the finals. Who knows how many games that series will go, as it's shaping up to be LeBron versus Steph Curry. And that's going to be one heck of a series, Warriors versus the Cavs. We are getting a little ahead of ourselves, but like I said, it's 100% that each and every team that's gone up 3-0 has gone on to win. No team's ever erased a 3-0 deficit in NBA playoff basketball. And also, Draymond Green set a franchise record for the most consecutive playoff games with a steal. He has a steal in 15 consecutive games. That breaks Rick Barry's record of 14 games. Steph Curry, he scored 40 points in this game, which also was the most points by a Warrior in a playoff game since Rick Barry scored 44 back in 1976. So Rick Barry coming up a couple times here in the stats as Draymond Green breaks his record for most consecutive games with a steal in the playoffs, and Steph Curry puts up as many points by a Warrior, the first time for a Warrior to score 40 points since Rick Barry did in 76. Also, Draymond Green, when he is on the floor for the Warriors, they are plus 163. And when he's not on the court, they are minus 43. So Draymond Green is really, without a doubt, the unsung hero of the Warriors. He makes a huge difference. Also, Andrew Bogut making a big difference as well. They said he put up a career high for points scored in a quarter, setting things off in the first quarter there. Been a strong presence on defense as he's been able to shut down the big men of Houston. And also, Steph Curry is the only other player besides Michael Jordan to score 40 points, shoot 5 three-pointers, and hit 55% of his shots from the field, other than Michael Jordan. So only Michael Jordan and Steph Curry have done that in the conference finals in the NBA playoff game. When Jordan did it, that was back in 93 against the Knicks on May 31st. So it was almost 22 years to the day, off by about 8 days. So Steph Curry and Michael Jordan, the only players in conference finals history to score 40 points, hit 5 3-pointers, Curry hit 7, and then shoot 55% from the field while doing so. So Steph Curry, actually, with the 7, that means he had 2 more than Jordan did in that game. Jordan hit 5 in that game, but what a performance. Let's actually look at the numbers overall. Steph Curry, 40 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He was 12 for 19 from the field, 7 for 9 from downtown, and he hit 9 of 10 free throws. And we had a couple of double-doubles. Draymond Green and Andrew Bogut, both big presences in the paint, as Draymond Green had 17 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and a block. Andrew Bogut with 12 points, 12 boards, 1 assist, and 1 block. Klay Thompson had 17 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Harrison Barnes had 6 rebounds and 1 assist. And off the bench, Festus Ezeli had 10 points, 6 rebounds, and a block. Shaun Livingston had 6 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and a steal. Iguodala, 6 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals. Brandon Rush had 3 points in the game. He also had 2 rebounds. Leandro Barbosa had 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and a steal. David Lee had 2 points, 3 boards. James Michael McAdoo had a rebound in the game. And even Justin Holiday got in there. He had a rebound and an assist. As the Warriors, they ended up getting everybody on the court as they had their entire team, all 12 players, get minutes in this game. So when you're just beating the crap out of a team, hey, you get everybody in there. Kind of like Little League. But for the Rockets, no player on their team broke the 20-point barrier, as their leading scorer was James Harden, the MVP runner-up. And we see why he's the runner-up. 17 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists in this game. Dwight Howard did have a double-double with 14 points, 14 boards, and a block. Josh Smith, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists in the game. Trevor Ariza, just 7 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals. Jason Terry, 4 points, 3 assists, 1 steal. Off the bench, Corey Brewer had 13 points, 1 assist, and 3 steals. And Terrence Jones, 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 block. And so the Rockets, just an abysmal, performance. They couldn't hit any shots from the field or from downtown, and they were even struggling from the foul line, as they only hit 33.7% of their field goals versus 45.4% for the Warriors. And they only hit 20% of their three-pointers, hitting just 5 for 25, whereas the Warriors hit 11 of 28, and that's 39.3%. It's actually, the Warriors are undefeated in the playoffs this year when they hit 10 or more three-pointers. I believe that's the 9th time they've done so. It's either 9th or 10th. Losing track, they do it so many times. The free throws, they hit 80% of them versus just 61.3% for Houston, hitting 20% almost better from the line. They also dominated on the boards offensively and defensively, as they had nearly twice as many offensive rebounds with 17 versus 9. And they had 43 on the defensive side versus just 30 for the Rockets. That's 60 total rebounds to just 39 for Houston. So the Warriors just dominating the glass. They almost had twice as many assists, 26 to 15. They had more steals, 9 to 7, and more blocks, 6 to 4. So they dominated them in all statistical categories. I mean, this thing was ugly. I'll tell you what, too. After the way Game 2 went, I pretty much knew this series was over at that point, too. I know a lot of people were saying, oh, yeah, we got to fight. And I was like, nah, this thing is over. James Harden, he didn't push over that curtain for nothing after the game. He was upset. He knew that that was the game that if they were going to win one, it was Game 2 when they lost by 1 and had the chance to win. but they didn't do it. They couldn't do it. They can't beat the Warriors. The Warriors have their number. And after beating them in that game, too, that was really the pivotal game, the pivotal point in this season when Harden was coming down there. And then Klay Thompson and Steph Curry were there to shut them down. They won that game by 1, getting both games in Oakland. And right there, I had a pretty good feeling they were going to come out here. And that one really just took the life out of the Rockets. The Rockets, before the game, they had a chance. Maybe if they could take this game, they can make this thing interesting. Like I said, the way Game 2 just zapped the life out of them, and that was that. That was really what put the nail in the coffin for them. But this just really drives the point home, is the Warriors, they could smell blood, and they just went for the kill. They destroyed the Rockets. Is they have, dismantled that rocket. That rocket is not active, let's say it that way. Not preparing for launch. Houston, we have a problem. You're going home. You're going fishing. The Warriors are going to the NBA Finals. They said even if the Rockets manage to somehow just get a sympathy win in Game 4, like the Warriors just decide to take the day off, which I doubt they will. I think they're probably going to just go in for just finish them off like sharks smelling blood in the ocean and just clean up that garbage, because the Rockets just they're done. Like I said, Game 2 just took the heart right out of them. James Harden in this game just couldn't get anything done, hitting just 1 of 5 from downtown, which was typical of his team. Only Josh Smith really could hit 3-pointers. He hit 3 of 5. And Harden hitting just 3 of 16 from the field. That is just pathetic. He's could not hit a bucket to save his life. He was hitting his free throws, though. I give him that, 10 for 11. But really, if you take away his free throws, then James Harden would have only scored 9 points in this game. So, actually, no, he would have only scored 7 points in this game, rather. My bad. Got to work on my simple math. No, but yeah, the Rockets, they're just gone. They're over. They're done. The Warriors moving on. Steph Curry shows why he is the MVP. Huge performance here. And a big performance, again, solid performances by Draymond Green and Andrew Bogut, 2 of the unsung heroes for the Warriors. They don't necessarily get a lot of credit or put up big, stat lines per se, but they did both have double-doubles in this game, and what they do on the floor, on defense, a lot of times can't be quantified in the stat sheet, is both those guys have been the real backbone of the Warriors that have really, up there in the paint, on defense too, when guys are coming to the lane, that's where James Harden, that's his bread and butter, but you can't do that against the Warriors because of Draymond Green and because of Andrew Bogut. And then when you got the offensive firepower of Thompson and the MVP, Steph Curry, that's just the winning recipe right there. So we'll see what happens in the finals. It'll be interesting. Of course, we still got one more game, maybe 2, but this series is probably going to end in a sweep. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. And the final score in this game, Golden State 115, Houston 80. Thank you very much for listening. It is appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and had a great weekend, and enjoy all the sports.